Ms. Hoggle is being held on exactly the same status that she was over in the district court. So we understand that what was going to happen today, we weren't fighting it. Our biggest concern is to make sure that she is treated for her mental health issues, to make sure that there are appropriate treatment plans and medications for her to help restore her competency.
Under Maryland law, an individual charged with only misdemeanors can only be hospitalized and detained in a formal hospital/prison setting for a maximum period of 3 years. She has been incarcerated in that facility, essentially receiving evaluations on a regular basis for her competency to stand trial over the last 3 years. The deadline for those 3 years came today. The court today would have had to dismiss the charges against her, and we would have had to release Ms. Hoggle as a matter of law because she could not be held any longer on those misdemeanors. Therefore, we sought an indictment from the grand jury yesterday charging her with the 2 counts of murder. Again, there was no advantage to moving forward. I will tell you that as long, and I think I publicly said this before, as long as there's not an indictment, you are allowed to continue to use a grand jury for the purposes of a criminal investigation. Once you indict a case, you lose that option, you lose that right. That was an investigative tool that we had available to us. It did not make any sense if she remained incompetent to lose that tool. Well, because of the law that would have dictated she would become free without any ability for us to check on her whereabouts or her medical station, it became incumbent on us to take the additional step to seek the indictment for the 2 counts of murder that we did yesterday. The law has now changed in terms of how long we can hold her for the purposes of the evaluation. Ms. Hoggle can now be held 5 years, now charged with a felony, for the purposes of the doctors to attempt to restore her to competency. Competency just basically means you have to have a basic understanding of the nature of the charges against you, and you have to be able to assist your attorney in defending yourself. This has nothing to do with her guilt or innocence. I am tremendously frustrated, and I've said this in court before. Am I frustrated that we are here 3 years into this and she's not been restored to competency? Absolutely I am. Why am I frustrated? Well, look, this is a woman who had and again, I'm talking about things that are in the public record. This was a young woman who'd had prior hospitalizations. She had been identified with psychiatric issues prior to the disappearance of her kids. She had been in various hospitals. She had been restored to competency before through psychotropic medications and reintroduced back into the community. I had every hope when she went to Perkins 3 years ago that we would have that same thing occur. She would fall into the care of psychiatrists. They would determine what her need was, and they would begin through a regimen of medications to restore competency that would allow us to move forward. So I am tremendously frustrated, as I can tell you, look, I'm sure any member of the family on either side of this will tell you above all, they are tremendously frustrated. They knew the psychiatric history, they knew about the restoration of competency in other cases, and they want to know why hasn't the hospital been able to do that. It's a frustration for all of us, but again, we've just taken steps legally to give them additional time to do that, and I don't think we had any other option but to seek the indictment we sought yesterday. It was the only way to adequately, I think, protect the public and protect some individual people in particular.